A major change to the United States visa policy would impact about 3.3 lakh Indian students studying in the United States of America. United States has decided that in the future it would replace the flexible visa system with a 4-year limit for the student. Now, what does this mean for the students, especially Indian students in US? How is it going to impact their career? How this entire visa policy is going to create a sense of uncertainty in their mind? Let us decode this in a simpler term. Now, first of all, the reason why this particular issue is news, because the United States has decided that they would now provide a kind of fixed end for the student visa that is being issued to the people. It will be valid while being enrolled for full time. Right. This is the current visa system we talk about. The current visa system says that there is no fixed end date for student stay. That means once you enroll in bachelor's program, later on in the US itself, you can enroll in the master's program. Later on, you can enroll in the PhD program. And as you remain students in various different universities, your visa will be continuously valid as such. So it maintains the legal student status for large number or long number of years as such. That's why taking advantage of it, many students change universities, they change programs also, and it also helped them in getting into the master's, PhD, OPT, that is optional practical training, as well as STEM OPT, that is in the science, technology, engineering and mathematics area. Now, this system, which is being implemented today by US, is expected to change, and some new proposals have been brought in. What is the new proposal? So first, every student visa will have fixed 4-year period of stay as such. Second, automatic stay based on enrollment would not be carried out anymore. Extension would require USCIS approval. That means suppose that you have enrolled yourself into 4-year bachelor's program. After you complete this program, and if you enroll yourself in master's program, again you will have to take approval of United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, and that means more immigration oversight would be carried out, and only you will be able to stay in US once you are granted this approval. Now, who is going to be impacted? So this particular change in policy is going to impact F1 student visa holders, J1 exchange visitors who are coming from different universities across the world for exchange programs in the US universities, other student visa categories apart from these two, undergrad student, and even graduates and doctoral researchers as such. And this is going to impact a lot of these people as such. Now, what are the major changes under new rule? First of all, as we have discussed, after the 4-year period comes to an end, or it is about to end, a student is expected to apply for extension application if they want to enroll in some new program or want to stay in US to participate in the OPT programs as such. That means they have to now furnish additional documentation in support of the evidence that they actually were student in the United States universities as such. Extra or this new biometrics may be required, and it can take even longer processing time. That means overall we are putting, or US is putting, a more bureaucratic hurdle in the entire students journey, as in this journey of students, and it also is going to increase the scrutiny over the application. What is going to be the impact on Indian students? So as per the recent research published in a journal, it is believed that India is the largest source country for the students in America. Currently, about 331,000 students have enrolled themselves in various different programs and courses across the US universities, and Indian students make up about 30% of the international students. So that is why they have the largest diaspora, we can say, in America, and that's why any major changes in the visa policy specifically related to students is going to have maximum impact on the Indian students. PhD and research students are going to be impacted, because many times these students do not have a fixed timeline in which they would be able to complete their education, complete their research, and that's why every time when they want to extend their stay, they have to get the additional approval from US CIS, and that means there will be a greater extent of compliance burden on the students enrolled in universities. Concerns were raised by many this groups and advocacy groups as such, because it will create academic uncertainty in the mind of people, mind of students. They might not be able to focus fully on studies, rather they would get engaged in clearing and this basically processing all these bureaucratic hurdles and such. It is going to create extra additional administrative burden on the students, and can also cause delay in the research that is being carried out in the universities as such. Long-term planning for students is also going to become difficult, because they will not be sure that once their 4-year period comes to end, whether they would be granted extra additional extension or not. In that case, a person would not be able to plan that they are going to stay in US for long duration, they are going to carry out research there, doctoral research there, they're going to carry out extra additional work, for example, to make themselves more we can say job friendly as such. So all of these going to impact the long term planning. And from the America perspective, innovation may be affected, because imagine America is considered as the land of innovation. Why? Because many students from all across the world are continuously carrying out research in the top universities of US, which also are the top universities of the world. Now, rather than carrying out research, rather than focused on these research activities, students would now be more scared, more anxious to ensure that they are able to get further stay. So bureaucratic hurdles are going to definitely impact the innovation and research activities. Impact on career is also expected, because the transition of the students to OPT is going to be impacted. OPT is basically optional practical training that many students opt for after completing their education, so that they can become job market fit and can also learn the practical applications of whatever they have learned in the courses. STEM OPT will also face uncertainty. Employment delays are expected, because now just after a student completes his or her study, unless and until he get approval or they get approval from USCIS, they might not apply for a job, or employers also will be shying from taking these students, these immigrant students as such. Employer concerns will increase, and career planning is going to become much more complex because of all these challenges. Now, there is also a risk that many students would face, and that risk is of visa expiry. Because imagine that your visa is about to end and you want to enroll yourself in the other programs, masters, PhDs, or whatever you have, and you have applied for the extension of the visa. But again, because just you have applied does not mean you will be granted visa before your expiry period, visa expiry period. So once your visa comes to an end, you immediately become an unlawful citizen or unlawful, we can say, foreigner in the United States. You are losing your legal status. And if later USCIS cancels or basically deny your visa extension, in that case you might have to face immigration penalties as well. And because now you have lived in US as illegal citizens or illegal person for long period of time, illegal foreigner for some extended period of time, future visa restrictions you might have to face as well. That would further jeopardize your career if you are looking to start your career or prolong your career in the United States as such. Possible enforcement actions can also be taken, because especially in the Trump's administration we have seen that strict action is being taken against any illegal immigrant or illegal foreigner as such. So these all challenges students will have to face. Now, what is the way forward in conclusion? First of all, we have to understand this is just a proposal. This rule has not yet come in force. So students who are currently studying in the United States, they can continue and continue existing or continue their research on the existing visa rules. However, they have to monitor the news or new information that might be coming from Department of Homeland Security or United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They have to stay connected with the universities, international offices also, so that they are not on the wrong side of law. They always comply with whatever new regulations and rules the government of United States or US governments bring as such. And then based on the new policies, they have to plan their extension and as early as possible, so they do not have to stay in US as a illegal citizen. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you got the idea behind what kind of changes are being proposed to US policy, visa policy, and how it is going to become much more difficult for students to stay in US and to continue working and studying in US as such. That's all for this particular video. Thank you.